Hello and welcome everyone to the Moneyball series with Paris FC. It is the last episode of the season. We are going to conclude the season in today's episode, and with 2 games to go, we are currently 3 points into 7th place, but only 2 goals ahead on goal difference, and one of our games remaining is away from home. It is all to play for. We cannot get Europa League, we cannot get Champions League, but we can get the Conference League, and that is what we're playing for here today. Off camera, you've missed a few more defeats, got a bad run going there, although what's been impressive is that Ego here has started to score some goals. He's now averaging almost one every other game, which is better than what it was. And we go into today's game with a tiny bit of form in terms of being in front of Gogs. We've got 1 goal there. We've got 2 goals there. We've got 2 goals here. And then the little friendly in between as well. So that's a tiny bit of form in front of goal for the forwards. But let's see how it goes. We have got Nael suspended, Lornberg is injured, Gugra is still injured, and Pablo Neres is out suspended as well. So your team for today's game, let's get straight into it. It's going to be Nuruddin in goal, Ferrarese, Talbi and Tabilo across the back with Hadja Moreno at wing-backs, Bernau and Clements as pivots, with De Urso as the 10, Ego and Suxum up front. This is huge. We need European football. Come on, Paris. Assistant manager says, pick up where you left off. Okay. Instant highlight for them. They're going to cross it into the far post. It's headed away. And Ego on the counter-attack. Maybe it's for us. He gives on the counter-attack. It's 1 versus 0. Can he make it now 2v1? Can he play him in? Ego, what are you going to do with this? Ego, where are you going with this? He's still going. Plays it back to Moreno. Whipped in far post. Hadjam heads it towards goal. And the goalkeeper collects it with ease. But that isn't the end of the highlight, though. It's going to continue. It could be for either side at this point, couldn't it? It could be for either side. Who's it going to be for? Do we win this one? Clement gets there. He gives it away. It could be for them. Looks like they're going to counter on us here. They do. It's going to be their highlight. Can we survive it? Can we survive it? No. Highlight for them. They have the ball on the left-hand side. They're going to travel towards the middle. They play it in behind it. They're going to get to this. Keeper's going to collect it. Nuruddin gets it. Where's he going to go? The right centre-back is open, but he goes to the left anyway. Hadjam has it. Plays it into Clement. It's terrible. They're going to go through. Marchetti shoots. It's just over. We're looking at the Strasbourg game. That's the result we're looking at. And the FC Lorient game. FC Lorient and Strasbourg are both away there. You can see that Strasbourg are away to Lille and Lorient are away to Montpellier. Let's give another chance for them by the looks of it. Marchetti to Diallo. Moreno gets the interception. Good. Tabila has it. Can he travel with it and play it? He plays it out to Hadjam. Come on, left striker. Make a run. Who is it? It's Ego. Hadjam still got it. He's still got it. What's he going to do with it? Plays it back to Ferrarese. He's got time and space. Time and space still. He goes towards goal. Don't you dare shoot. Doesn't. Plays to Suxum. And it's the goalkeepers. He clears it. We're going to win the first. Can we win the second? Clement gets it. Plays into Moreno. Moreno's got 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches. Can he cross it into the box? He does. And Suxum, you're useless, mate. He's got time and space. Going to progress the attack down the middle. Now Suxum's in. Is he going to score finally for the club? Oh, and he does! He's got to be offside, though, because Suxum couldn't hit the cow's ass with a banjo. Is it going to count? It's counted. Suxum has scored a goal. I don't know what's happening in the save anymore. Suxum made a run, got the ball, and then put it in the back of the net. Are we sure? 1-1. Okay, this is from their kickoff, by the way. We win it. Ego's won it. Can he score? Surely. Oh, he does. It's 2 in 2 minutes. It's 2 in 2 minutes of Paris FC. We've turned it around, and it is now 2-1. Come on, Paris. Oh, no. Tawi's injured. Strasbourg are winning. Clement whips it into the far post, headed towards goal. Keeper's spilt it. Samir scores. It's 3. That was so fortunate. It's 3. Because the highlight. This is the last highlight before half-time. Are they going to get a goal back? It was close. They're not, though. And FC Lorient are losing. Okay, we'll say don't let your performances drop here. I'm really hesitant to make any subs at all because our better performing players are all on the pitch right now. Set piece for them. Far post headed. It's just over the bar. That was a bit fortunate. Strasbourg have won their game. Well, they're 2-0 up now in their game. It's Lille. They'll probably win that. It's going to be a red card for them in this game. That should be game over for us. At least we get our win. Finishes 3-1 to Paris FC. That is a really good result for us. The 3-1 win, not only did we win, but the extra goal on goal difference, because it's going to come down to a very close end to the season. It looks like we're in control of this, right, against Strasbourg, but it's only 3 points, and I'm guessing they're going to be at home, which means if we were to lose, and just to confirm to you, it goes down to goal difference, then results between teams, then goals scored. So, goal difference, then result between teams. So how do we get on against Strasbourg? We won away 2-0, and at home 5-3, So if we were to lose by a couple of goals, though, it's still easily done. But we've got a slight advantage there now, going into the last game against Montpellier. So I'll see you in a few days for that. And hopefully that win is just giving us a little cushion where we can at least draw and then take all the variables at the equation. But I'll see you in a few days for this game. Okay, here we are then, the last game of the season. Now your final team of the season is Nuruddin in goal, Dabila, Tarbi, and Sami across the back, with Hajam and Moreno at wing-backs. Banawa and Clement as pivots, with De Urso as the 10, and Ego and Neris up front. Wow, all we need, lads, is a draw, and we're fine, and we're in Europe next season. Come on, Paris. Assistant manager says, if you carry your performance for the last match, you'll do well, okay. Wow, big game this. We are playing our system. What are they going to play against us? Loss, win is the recent form for us. They are going to play a 4-2-3-1, okay. And it's underway. The last day of the season is underway. Only the 34 games now in the in Liga 1. It's going to be a corner early on from Clement. He's going to whip it into the far post. Ursa goes up. Doesn't quite get at the Hajam. Just don't do anything with this Hajam. Just get off the ball before you lose it or something. But it's across to Urso. Back to Hajam across. Far post. And go, yes, come on! With the big assist from Hajam. I always had a bit of faith in Hajam. Great ball in. And then Ego at the far post with the big header. And it's 1-0 to Paris FC. Come on, boys. We needed that. We needed that desperately. Nice little cut back here when he gets back to the ball right now. Oh, I love that. Little cut back to Hajam, whipped into the far post, Ego header, 1-0. So currently Strasbourg are at home and they are losing their game anyway. As things stand right now, we are looking very, very good, but that can all change if this goes in, and it does not. Good save, Nuruddin, love that. Good to have a nice goalkeeper back, isn't it, for a change? Highlight for them to go behind. Dabila gets to it. What is he doing? Dabila, what are you doing? It's 1-1. Strasbourg are still losing 1-0 though currently. As we're approaching half-time, it's good 1-1 here and 1-0 down for them there. We'll say time to dig in for the lads. I'm really looking at who's going to come off here for us. Strasbourg are now 2-1 down. Absolute chaos in their game. I'm going to take off Moreno and put on Nail at right wing back. Neres is going to come off. I'm going to put on Suxum at right striker. I'm going to throw on Ruben Mesa as the left striker. And that is going to be our last change. They're going to play it into the box, so they're going to get a goal from it. It's headed away. It's going to be a second phase now. Are they going to score? Shot from distance. Hits the post. And it's going to be cleared away. I think. Hajam's giving it away. I just paused to make a change. Hajam's giving it away. Get rid of it, lads. There we go. Okay, we've gone defensive to take the draw. That's it now. We've done all we can. Can we just rely on the fact that they don't win by loads and that we don't throw this lead away? They're still losing. It's 3 minutes of added time. Surely that's got to be it. That's got to be it. Get in there, come on. Paris FC will be playing in Europe next season. Come on, boys. That is an unbelievable result for us. Paris FC, after the whole season, Moneyball has got us into Europe. Paris FC qualified for the Europa Conference League. Absolutely love that. Get in there, boys. Congratulations. Round of applause all around. It's good just to get in any European football, right? The best case scenario would have been like to maybe have been in the Europa League or the Champions League and then we drop down one. So like being in the Champions League, then dropping down to the Europa League. So we get the money and prestige of the Champions League. Then you drop down to a European competition that you can actually compete in. The fact that we're in any European football is absolutely brilliant. I'm delighted with that. That is so good. We received 7.24 million, which is fantastic. We're about to find out our budget for next season, I'm sure. That's really good. It's a game changer for us. It's not quite the money you'd hope for and expect going at this point of the save, but let's see what we get. Let's see what the board give us in a second. So what we'll do is we'll come back in a second for the end of season review in the game. We'll see what budgets we get, and then we'll do a stats review of the season, both players and team. Okay, we have our answer. Next season, our transfer budget is going to be 4.65 million. Are we taking the piss? And a wage budget of 250 grand, which is basically what it is right now. That is not great. And it looks like yet again, we're going to be relying on players that are going to go on a free transfer, transfer players, and some real gems we're going to have to find with this Moneyball system. This has been quite challenging, not just because of the amount of money that we've been given to spend, but how much we know that PSG, for example, are going to be able to spend, and other teams in the Champions League that are in the French league. So I almost felt the gap's just going to could easily keep going in that sort of direction, right? It keeps going further and further apart. But yeah, that's really disappointing. Right now, my early feeling rather, towards the players is that all of the forwards are going to be transfer listed, every single one of them, and just see what we get for any of them in terms of offers. Nobody's safe. I don't think anybody that plays as like a number 10 or forwards ahead of that. So any striker, any 10, maybe even any wing back, I think all of them are able to be let go. I think we could replace them with better value. We can get somebody that can do the same stats as them on basically a free transfer or effectively for free, so we can make money and then invest money where it needs to be made, right? Like I think that we could do with getting a top level centre back, a top level striker that runs in behind. That's something that we do need. We've got the sort of left striker situation sorted, haven't we? But we need a definite striker that's running behind. We need a centre back. I think we need wing backs galore, really, especially left wing back. I think we do need a really good left wing back as well. But I'm going to try and sell a lot of players off camera and see what we get. I'm going to let you know that right now. But that's quite disappointing from my perspective there, the budgets, but there we are. Okay, now let's do the in-game end-of-season review, and then after that, let's do a in-depth stats review of the season, both player and team. So I'll see you in a second for that. Here we go then, Paris FC end-of-season review, the new arrivals. What did the board think of this? Let's start with Ferrarese. Ferrarese was given an A+. Yeah, I expected that. The goalkeeper they given an A+ to, which is good. I mean, Razai, who played no games for us, they're given a B- to. So, I mean, I'm not quite sure what they're judging this on. Maurizio Gomez was given an A+, yeah. Ego was given C-, even though he did score 9 goals in the end. I thought Ego was actually quite a good player towards the back end of the season, and 100% was worth 140 grand. Like, it wasn't even close. That 140 grand was totally worth it to replace Morgan. I mean, he was basically scoring at the same rate that Morgan was, maybe slightly better than Morgan, but Morgan was sold for 1.5 million. Ego was bought in for 140 grand. So that's the kind of stuff we're looking at, right? And I still think that we can easily get a profit on Ego if we sell him either this summer if we can, if not the following summer or following January, because he only just arrived. Sometimes when you buy a player in January and you try and sell them that summer, the player isn't that willing to go and clubs aren't that willing to buy them, so we'll see what happens with that. Pablo Neres, what do they think? A+. I thought they might do. He's been brilliant for us. Talbi, B, okay. I'd have given that a B+. I thought he was really good. Lundberg, D. I don't know where they've got that from, but okay. Moreno, A+. He was brilliant, to be fair. I mean, wasn't really helped in terms of the tactic in his role as a wing-back in terms of the average rating, but he did play really, really well. Wing-backs are always going to tend to have slightly low average ratings, I think, in this tactic at the very least anyway. Philip Clement got a D. That's pretty harsh, but okay. This season's results, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Our average home attendance was 99% filled up. Top goal scorer. I mean, top goal scorer was Ego in the end, so that shows how good of a signing that really was. And it was quite undervalued, I suppose, because we didn't really notice the benefits of him until right towards the end of the season, right? So 53 points is what we finished on. PSG only got 90 in the end, but they could easily have got a lot more. But at least they didn't go undefeated this season. That's good. Some great moments there to remember for the season. Finances, everything's gone up, which you'd expect because it's based on the season before. We're in a league below. Be interesting to see this again next season. I know we're going to be in Europe, which is going to help. Biggest shirt sold, Razai and Gugo, 2 players didn't play an awful lot of the season. One for registration issues, one because he got injured. But how we lined up, that looks pretty good. It's interesting they put our new Chilean wing-back in there as our starting wing-back. The accolades, here we go then. So fans player of the season was the goalkeeper, Nuruddin, okay. Young player of the season was Pablo Neres. I hate it when they give it to 24-year-olds. Signing of the season was Nuruddin, okay. Goal of the season was Neres. Top goal scorer was Ego with 9. Most assists was Clement with 7. Most player of the match award goes to Dabila with 4. Highest average rate goes to the keeper. Most passes completed per 90 goes to Dabila. And some records broken there. And not quite sure how he's got into that list considering he retired last season, but there you go. Highest transfer fee paid so far is currently 1.5 billion. That was for Ferrarese, who was definitely worth it. I thought he was fantastic, to be fair. We'll get into that in a second, though. History in the making, yep. Thank you very much. And they have it. End of season review is complete. Okay, let's get into then. Well, let's have a look at this first. Supporters profile. Core's gone down. Fairweather's gone up. Okay. And our social media followers gone up another 95 grand, which is nice. Okay, I'm going to try and remove developed players using the club's youth system because even though we got through 2 good youngsters this year, we might actually end up doing that. I don't really want that there for the Moneyball save, so let's just try and get rid of it and suggest. Let's just do that again. Oh, okay, no, we'll just confirm it. Okay. We'll keep that in. For now, it doesn't really matter because we actually are going to do that because we're going to have those 2 youngsters, especially the striker. The striker's going to get an opportunity because he's going to absolutely tear it up in his own youth league. So his stats are going to be incredible. I'm going to give him a chance in the first team and we'll see how his stats do over I'll give him I don't know, a 5-game average. So we'll play him for 5 matches. We'll see how he gets on and we'll judge his stats compared to the strikers in the team. And I think he'll probably come out all right because the other striker's been terrible. So yeah, and because he's been given a chance, this will probably come up as very pleased still. So it's whatever. Yeah, maybe we can get rid of some of this later on, but whatever. For now, we'll accept it. Discuss plans. Ooh. Avoid the relegation battle. Should we say that? Yeah, happy with that. Brilliant, lads. Cheers. Right, in terms of what we're going to look at right now, we're going to look at the team stats and how we did overall in the season. And we're also going to look a little bit at the overall player stats, because there's going to be some players that we need to change for next year, 100%, right? In terms of recruitment, what we're going to do is just pick the top 3 teams there, because they were substantially better than us, the top 3. PSG in a class of their own, then you've got Marseille there. Marseille played a back 4, and Monaco played a back 4 as well, both playing 4-2-1, actually. Apart from PSG, we finished the highest in the league that played also a back 3 in Ligue 1, so that's going to be interesting, but I'm still going to create the 3-player average for this season, but I'm also going to make sure I have like PSG player stats on their own set off to the side so we can flip it and use it against them. I mean, Mbappe got 64 goals this season. What is this? Christ. Maybe I use Mbappe stats to try and get a lesser version of Mbappe, ignoring the goals, obviously, but looking at just the other stats. Like, what does a really pacey, in-behind, effective striker look like compared to the level they're playing at? And we go off these stats and see what it looks like and see if there's anything that stands out. I'll tell you what stands out to me on that list is offsides. Mbappe was caught offside 73 times, which is quite interesting. I think I went down this road before looking at his offsides with direct correlation, I think earlier in the series. There's a couple of things that I look at there. One is they like to break the offside trap. Now, I don't think he even has it here as a trait. He does not. But because he's in an attacking role and he's obviously very quick, they're looking to play him in behind quite early. And he plays in a 2-striker system. So, I mean, what you could do if you wanted to do this in a non-realistic way, but in a very game-like way, you could create like a fake team and run like a few different simulated seasons where Mbappe plays for a year, then you put Haaland in, then you put like a different striker, and you can put different types of strikers in and see what stats they come back with, and use that as your average to search for. One stat that seems to be consistent in strikers that do well is extra performance. Now, for us, it didn't seem to do too well, because we looked at that last year. It didn't really help us too much. I mean, Ego did do well. The other strikers, not so much. Maybe their extra performance was good because they were playing against absolutely awful defenders and goalkeepers. Maybe it's part of that. I think Raza, in hindsight, would have been a really good striker. I know his stats look quite good there. It is a bit inflated because he played against, just some easier teams in the Cup. I think he would have been actually a good striker. Fortunately, it's just the way that the cards fell in terms of non-EU players, but we'll make sure we're aware of that more going into this year. I thought Neres looked quite good. He looked quite good as an effective forward. I just think that he struggled to score. And then when he wasn't scoring, he really needed somebody else with him that could do the job. But Neres next season could either play as a striker for me or he could be a wing-back. I'm quite happy with Neres. I don't think I'm going to sell him unless I get a really good offer. But yeah, because what's he on contract-wise? He's on £9.5 a week, which is okay. Okay, let's look at this one by one then in terms of position and go through the teams. Let's start off with strikers. This is our striker view. So looking at this, I mean, Rezai can probably be taken out because he only played... I mean, the thing is, you've got really 3 strikers that we did sell. Morgan, and we did sell a couple of players, didn't we? It's hard to judge some of them because they only played like a really small amount of matches. Gory played a lot of sub-games, but not really too many from the start. In fact, I'm going to take Razai out because he's only got 3 appearances there and they were all in the Cup, so I'm going to take that out. So let's just use the top 4 then. So Suxham had an average rating of 6.65. That's really, really poor. 6.78 there, and the highest one was Ego, who, like I said, really did turn it around towards the back end of the season. Okay, extra performance to start off with that. So, again, 5 was a benchmark we were looking at before. Only Ego's even close. Everybody's in minuses. Look at that. Mason minus 1.32, minus 2.12 for Gory, another 0.25 there. Not great. Minutes per goal. Ego was the best of the players that played with 150, which is almost, double. Or half, having a look at it, is half of what Mace's minutes were. Conversion ratio, 20 was by far the best. Shot on target ratio, 25% is awful. That really, really is. 56 is good. Shots on target per 90. So, I mean, Suxham couldn't shoot very well, couldn't get him on target, and didn't get any shots to begin with anyway. His XG was, he was really bad. He's 100% going next year. He's been awful. Sprints per 90, awful. Offsides, Gory, looking like he's the best for that. But he played, that's not a per 90 stat, right? That's total. Dribbles per 90, Mace is top of that list. Header on ratio, 27% for Gory, 30%. That's just bad. Yeah, looking at all of that, Ego is the only striker that I would keep if I had to. Ego is the only striker that I would actually keep next season. I want the rest of them to go. And if I had to lose Ego, I would, but I want the rest of them to go. Raz, I could potentially do a job next year, but he's 32 now. I'd rather try and sell him and get some money in for him. He is liked by a few teams, so we'll see. Now, these stats are going to be slightly skewed for the cam roll because both Clement and De Urso both played periods as the pivot. But in the entirety, let's have a look at them. Expected assists per 90 goes to Clement. Open play key passes per 90 goes to De Urso. Progressive passes goes to Clement. Passes complete per 90 goes massively to Clement. Dribbles per 90 goes to De Urso by quite a distance. Sprints per 90 goes to Clement by quite a distance. And distance covered. I think because Clement actually played a little more as a pivot than De Urso did. But there you go. Pretty close between them, nothing too much really. It's close. It's within the margin of error, I would say. Like it is hard to judge those two because they both did rotate so much. Who played pivot and who didn't. So yeah. Yeah, if we look at the pivot players, then players that played pivot, there's a few of them here. I'm going to include the Urso and Clement in this as well. As we can see, open play key pass actually goes to Lundberg, which is interesting considering he played as the actual defensive midfield player. When we first looked at Lundberg, it was for a more advanced role actually in midfield, so he has got the technical capabilities, and I think he probably is quite a good player in possession actually. Progressive passes, the two pivots have way more of those. Passes completed is higher. Pass completion goes to Banawa, though. Dribbles per 90 goes to our slightly more attacking players there. Sprints per 90 goes to... I mean, Lundberg's done really good to have a higher one on that because he does play in the CDM role, in the actual defensive field role, more often. Guga's got the joint average highest distance covered per 90. Tackle-1 ratio, Guga's the worst, then to Urso. Then it's pretty high for Clement, actually. That's really good. Considering Clement's more like a number 10, Clement's got a really high tackle-win ratio, which is quite impressive. And header-1 ratio, out of the actual CDMs, Guga's is pretty bad, 38. For somebody who plays consistently in that sort of two-pivot role, not great. We effectively finish off the season with 4 centre-backs, and there they are for you. So have a look at this. Tackle-1 ratio, nothing really stands... Well, actually, no, it does. Samir's tackle-1 ratio is a disgrace. Key tackles per 90 is pretty close between them, but Samir is the worst for that. Tackles per 90 total does go to Samir, though. He's the best for that. Interceptions per 90 goes to Dabila. Nothing too important. Pressures attempted per 90 does go to Sammy. He's quite high on that, to be fair to him. Goal mistakes, Dabila has 2 and so does Talby. Interestingly, Ferrazi's got a 0.53 open play key passes per 90. That's quite good, you know, and the best of the centre-backs. And dribbles per 90 of 3.78. Don't forget, Ferrazi is more like a proper orthodox centre-back and a right-footed one playing on the left side. Whereas Sammy is a quick, mobile, right-footed centre-back on the right-hand side. So I'd expect Sammy to do better in that, but he hasn't. And more progressive passes. I think Ferrazi is showing me that he is the one. And he wins 87% of his headers. Ferrazi, you are by far the best centre-back in this team. Tackle-win ratio, the best. Header-win ratio, the best. Better in possession. Better out of possession. Ferrazi is the number 1 centre-back in this team. And I'd say Talby is maybe second. And Dabila is third, I would probably go. And then Samir being dead last. But that's interesting. Okay, I've taken some players out of this list to make sure that we can see this a bit easier because they're going to be quite spread no matter how I do this. So for the wing-backs then, it's going to be quite interesting to see the dribbles per 90 shot off the bat. Diarra's got the best one for that. Only close, though. Gomez is a close second, and Hadjam's a bit below that. Cross completion seems to have gone by far to Nail, and Moreno is a close second, with Hadjam not far behind him with just 1% less, actually, incidentally. Distance covered per 90. Coffee got 9.3. That's by far the most. Next nearest is 9.1 with Nail. Nails looks pretty good on the sort of physicals here. Sprints per 90 seems to have gone to Coffee, but again, Nail's not too far behind him. And then Hadjam's a little bit behind that. Open by key passes, we're going to go Hadjam, and then after... oh, no, sorry, not. We're going to go to Moreno. Moreno wins that. Already looking at that, I'm looking at Moreno and Nail being my 2 best wing-backs without looking... And Soran Gomez. Those are my 3 best wing-backs in this scenario. Chances created per 90 goes to Gomez. Again, I was saying this before, like, I think he's so much better than Hadjam. I'm going to have to probably sell Gomez because he's non-EU. He's already 30 years old and his like, stock's quite high. I think now is time to sell him with his value being there. And I still think that he's good value for money. Like, if I was buying him for, like, 1 million, I think that's probably a good deal. But I have to only have 4 non-EU players. That's what's messing our stats a little bit, is having these non-EU players and places and stuff. Progressive passes, Coffee's got quite a few of those. Hadjam's got quite a few as well. Tackle-1 ratio. It's actually quite close, isn't it? You say, but everybody's between 70 and 78, except for Moreno, who's on 69, which is only 1% below that. Interceptions per 90 goes to Coffee. Coffee's quite active, isn't he, in matches? He does a lot of stuff, which is quite interesting. Header-1 ratio. Is anybody standing out on this? Oh, yeah, Nayal with bloody 39%. That is a disgrace. Hadjam's got 80, which is really good, and Gomez has got 82, which is even better. And, like, 51's quite low. 67, 65 is okay. For a wing-back in a back 3, I can accept that, to be fair, like, just about. Especially 67. But 65's okay. It is actually okay, especially if you're providing the rest of this. Well, so, there you go. That's your players review. Okay, no matter where I go, I'm in the way for this, but here I'm the least in the way, because at least you can see the team names, you even can't quite see their... if you can't quite see their badges and what position they are. But yeah, for average possession, we finished 14th. Headers when we were second. Red cards, we were top with 8 red cards this season, and top yellows were 115. There you go. So we're mid-table for goals scored and goals per game. XG over performance, we were 12th, which is pretty poor. Underperformance, we were 7th. Okay. Non-penalty XG, we were 8th. We scored 7 from corners, which is the joint second best, behind PSG with 10. Shot on target ratio, we are 15th, and what you can see is our percentage is 35%, which is joint with 16th, which is pretty bad. In fact, I'll just move out the way quickly here, so you can just see that's where we're at. Yeah, so it's not great from that perspective at all. Conversion, we were 10th, which is mid-table-ish. Shots per game, we were 8th. Dribbles made per game, we were 4th. High intensity sprints, we were top by quite a distance. Final third passes for, we were 13th. Goals conceded from corners. That's interesting. We conceded 0 goals from corners. That's pretty impressive, you know. Okay, we were 7th for XG against. That is 7th worst XG against. Tackle 1 ratio, we were dead last. Let's get out of the way for this so you can see it. Yeah, we're absolutely dead last. Awful stuff from us from this perspective. Top for interceptions, though. That's nice. Look at that. PSG gave away 0 penalties this season, and so did Marseille. Both PSG and Marseille had 12 penalties each given to them this season. They both had 12, and they both had none against them. So, I'm not saying it's conspiracy, but you make your own minds up about that. Lastly, the finances, our net transfer spend. Let's get myself out of the way so you can see this in all its glory. That is the list in all its glory. For net transfer spend, we are 15th with a minus 3.55 million spent. PSG spent the most on 68.83, and the salary is as follows. We are spending 10.39 million per year on salary. PSG are spending 260. So PSG are spending about £250 million more a year on wages than we are. £250 million more than we are on wages. £250 million. What are we doing here? Okay, just some random stuff from the data I'm going to show you here as well. This is our last game against Montpellier. What you can see here is the pass map of our team. And what you can see is this is Pablo Neres up here, right? So what you're seeing is our striker on the right-hand side is there's a lot of direct passes to him from the right wing back. So it goes to the right wing back. The right wing back either takes his player on or he looks to play the striker in behind. So if that was your pass map and you know that's what's going to happen, there's 2 things that you'd want. One, for your wing back to be able to pass, ideally. But secondly, maybe more important, is the right striker. If he's fast, he's going to get a lot of goals because that's where the service comes from, right? For him, it goes in behind. And for the right wing, so when the right back gets the ball, if the right wing back's going to get it to the 2 strikers, it's going to go 1 or 2 ways, either in behind early to the right striker, or it's going to be him being advanced and whipping it to the bar post to the big striker. So you want quick on the right, big man on the left. That's, in the basis of it, that's what you're looking at right there, in terms of this tactic, the way that it's currently playing, at least with this exact set of players, and in the game it's Montpellier, for example. Look at the goalkeepers, advanced goalkeeping, so quality shot stopping, saved most shots. Noureddin's looking like he's out on his own a couple of these, or he's really close with Donovan Leon, apparently. And, yeah, passing goalkeepers. Pretty good passing from the back as well is Noureddin. So look, we are defensively in the air. So you don't want to be down here in this bottom left corner, and we've got Nail is in this area, so is Mady Diarra. Probably 2 players that are going to struggle long term. Nail's obviously a really good player. He's going to stay with us for a little while. Diarra's probably going to be gone straight away. Interesting that Hadjam's in there. I'm not quite sure how he's in it. His average ratio is pretty good, I thought. So on this graph, high scoring can equal shooting. So you want to be looking at the amount of shots that you're getting and whether you're high scoring, low scoring, right? So it's not just about how accurate are you, it's how many you're getting as well. And in this one here, you want to be as far up in this top right corner as possible. What you don't want to be is down here. And guess what? Every single one of our strikers is in this area except for one, which is Ego, which tells you everything you need to know. So it shows that our own stats that we're looking at, we're making our own personal judgments, our own manual judgments on them. The game's giving us the same information. They're telling us you've got 4 strikers who are not doing their job and one that is. And the one that is the one that I was happiest with, so that's good to see. I mean, goal outputs, low scoring, low assists. We've got all our strikers in this area here. What is going on? Physical output forwards. So you definitely want to be in this area here. High distance covered and sprints per 90. So this is basically a high distance covered and sprints per 90, right? This is what we're looking at. And our strikers are all in the poor areas. Gory's the closest in terms of his physical output. But I think if we can get a striker with really good stats across the board and they can be high on something like this, that is the best of both worlds, right? And I think that is going to do it for our little review here for the season. Okay, I think that's going to do our episode. Going into the next one, then what we're going to do is it'll be tomorrow for me. I'm going to record this tomorrow. We're going to go through the whole Moneyball summer transfer window yet again. We're going to take the 3 players from each of the top 3 teams. We're going to create an average and search for that average from the top 3 teams, which were PSG, Marseille and Monaco in this instance, and we're going to search for some players based on that. I'm going to look for some players first whose contracts are up at the end of the year. We've already got 2 players coming in, right? We've already got 2 strikers coming in, so we don't need to worry about the big man striker role. That's good. That's settled. That's fine. I also don't think we need to worry about goalkeeper. Unless I got a really good offer for Nuruddin, I'm probably going to keep him because he's just... I know how good he is. He was consistent. He was reliable. I don't want to sell him unless I'm really sure about the replacement that I'm getting. He's on 2.9 grand a week. You know, that's really good value for money. So those 2 things are sorted. I'd say almost everything else is up for grabs. But more importantly, specifically, the first thing I want is a pacey in-behind striker. And what we just saw from the analysis from the data analyst, right? That right striker on the pass map there was always getting it in behind from the right wing back. So I'm going to look for a striker that can run in behind. And for my wing back on the right, I want them to be able to be quick if possible, so they're able to dribble at the opponents. But also, are they good at passing? They don't have to be, because sometimes maybe it's going to be like a direct pass. But it's something to note, isn't it? What was also really noticeable was the left centre-back for Razy. Him being the left centre-back but right-footed, yet he still had the highest dribbles per 90 for the centre-backs, which is really impressive and interesting. Yeah, but anyway, let's go through quickly the things we need. Right striker, 100% I think we need. I think we could do with a better number 10, and probably a better pivot player again, the box-to-box one maybe, and maybe a good holding one. So I'd say a striker, 3 central field players, that gives us 4. I would say a wing-back on either side, and a starting centre-back, maybe 2 starting centre-backs. That's going to be 7 or 8 players, what we need next season. Some of them might be sideways moves. There might be times where we sell a player we don't really want to sell it because it's a decent offer and we can get a better player. Like Dabila, if I could get 2.5 million for Dabila, I'd be delighted. But it says his valuation's 3.6 to 5.2. So let's see what happens, right? There's a lot of exciting things that could happen in this window. My guess and my prediction is going to be that every player that looks like we can sell them for good value, we get no offers for, and I'm stuck either having some of my very best players or selling nobody and bringing in nobody. But we'll see. The biggest concern wasn't just the transfer budget, if I'm going to get most of my players on a free and on the transfer list, it was the wages as well. So, yeah, we'll have to have a look at that. But then again, Gugu is on massive wages, and if I can sell him for anything, getting him off the wage one 17 grand a week would be lovely. But that's going to do the episode. A massive thank you to all of you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the series still, and I'll see you all next time.